to the Bond Factor. Burn Turn Productions. Good to be with you. What a great song there as we're sort of rocking out on a Friday night and trying to keep the show fun and real and not too intense, but it's hard to do that. I had my start back in radio and doing this kind of thing where I took everything very lightly, and I didn't really do a whole lot to try to stress people out on my radio show. But I'll tell you what, it's stressful what's going on out there in the world, and I think it's worth getting the information out there, because really we're ticking down, only a few days away from less than 25 days, whatever we are today, from maybe possibly history changing. And it's funny, so many people tell me, oh, that's overkill, Bond. That's not it. It's not what's happening. This is just a bunch of ugly, deplorable. I think somewhere I have a picture up in my stuff here about the clown. I won't be able to get it right now because I'm doing my thing here. Count on my own, but I mean, it's just this ugly thing. It's just not. It's just not what's happening. There's so much going on within the world, and Trump is fighting a battle that has never really happened. They like to compare it to Reagan or compare it to some of the other things, but it's never been this way. It's never happened this way before. So we're trying to endure that. We're trying to endure the WikiLeaks. We're trying to endure everything that's going on, and we're fighting the battle right here. And the attack is real. The numbers are real, and Trump is a real candidate. I think it's worth looking at. I want to encourage everybody. You can see behind me here, I have the Hillary's America is out. I have it here on Vudu, and I've been watching that. I think I have about 4 hours left where I can watch it, and then I'll maybe, I don't know, buy it or not. I've gone through it a couple of times. It's a good movie. I think probably for me, a lot of it was known in my mind, so a little bit of it was a little bit laborious. Some of the things I thought were more interesting were how Dinesh D'Souza got shut down, and what he sort of had to deal with really was pretty ugly attempt by Obama and his administration to shut him down, and his motivation in prison I thought was interesting too. The way he sort of related some of the way that they react and do things to sort of the criminal mentality, and maybe that's one of the redeeming factors of the whole thing, is you can kind of break down all of the emails, all of the things that are coming out through WikiLeaks, which is very damning to the methodology of how the corruption is just sort of interwoven into just about everything. Within Hillary's campaign, there's a lot of corruption, but and a lot of thinking. And you can go through the emails. There's a lot of places where you can go through and try and decipher all of it and sort of interpret it yourself. But I'll tell you, WikiLeaks is thinking the way they're going to do is they're going to continue to release these emails for the next 20 days, thousands of emails a day, and some of them are absolutely amazing. So you're not going to find out about that information watching headline news, CNN, MSNBC when you get home in the shower with your flat screen. It's just not going to happen that way. You're going to have to dig around a little bit more, because bombshells are being released that show relationships within Hillary's campaign, within her administration. John Podesta, Cheryl Mills. Google those names. Find out what articles are available, because there's spin on both sides. And I think if you can, what I always try and tell people is find out for yourselves. But what I have seen is absolute nasty-ass corruption. That's what's going on. And when we have the New York Democratic Commissioner come out and say, oh, yeah, I mean, they're bussing people in. There's been corruptions, as if he's talking about, oh, yeah, we've had this problem in our family for years, or, like it's just some kind of a known thing. And that's one of the things that I think about is what is known, what is actually accepted anymore as Americans. And the sort of juggling match between Democrat and Republican is just an illusion to keep the American public thinking about oh, well, I'm going to switch. I'm going to go ahead and vote on the other side this year. And no, you need to go back in the past. Start with things like Hillary's America. If you're not, learn about the history of the parties and where it came from. And really, what other party is Trump going to run under? He's got to run as a Republican, right? But he's not even really a true Republican on the side. So again, let's go back to Paul Ryan. This guy's on the fence. He's a corrupt politician. He's absolutely part of the establishment. Deep-seated corruption here, folks, that we're talking about. $0 spent on that. I'm going to go to the internet page now. As I spoke about before, let's see if I can actually make that happen here. The most important WikiLeaks revelation is the tie-in with Obama, and the fact that is the reason why Comey, the FBI, the DOJ, everybody is coming out now as being absolutely corrupt. Comey asks for basically, what are they? The word's not coming to me when you ask for immunity. Comey, after his statements, after everything he says, wants immunity because this thing goes all the way up. Podesta, all that, it's worth looking at it. And, as we've talked about so many times here on the Bond Factor, don't get distracted by the drama about, females and different things. And it's not what we do here. We look at the facts. We look at what's going on, and some 30-year-old stewardess sneaking into first class has nothing on what we're talking about here. Stay with us, Fist. We'll be right back. Yeah.